There is a window of time in your financial life that most people do not fully appreciate until it has already closed. It is the decade of your 20s. And I do not mean that in the motivational poster sense, in the live your best life, travel while you are young, hustle hard kind of way. I mean it in a very specific mathematical and structural financial sense. The decisions you make about credit, savings, and money habits during your 20s do not just affect your 20s. They compound forward into your 30s, your 40s, and beyond in ways that are almost impossible to fully undo once the window has closed. Your credit score, which is built almost entirely from the length of your credit history, your payment consistency, your utilization habits, and the diversity of your accounts, is being actively constructed right now, whether you are paying attention to it or not. Every month that passes where you have no credit history, or worse, where you have credit history that reflects poor habits, is a month that cannot be recovered. You cannot go back and add years to an account that does not exist. You cannot undo a series of late payments that already hit your report. The credit foundation you build in your 20s is the foundation you will stand on when you try to buy a house, finance a car at a good rate, rent an apartment in a competitive market, or apply for a premium financial product in your 30s. And here's the part that should really get your attention. The difference between someone who enters their 30s with an excellent credit profile, a score in the 750s or above, multiple well-managed accounts, a clean payment history, and a strategic rewards setup, and someone who enters their 30s with a thin or damaged credit file is not just a number on a screen. It is tens of thousands of dollars in interest rate differences on a mortgage. It is access to the best financial products versus being stuck with mediocre ones. It is a foundation versus a hole to climb out of. Today, we are going to build that foundation correctly. I am going to walk you through the exact 3 credit cards every person should have in their wallet by age 30, in the order you should get them, and exactly how to use each one to build the credit profile and the reward system that sets you up for everything that comes next. Welcome to Klux One Finance. Before we get into the cards, let us establish what we are actually optimizing for at this stage of life, because it is different from what someone in their 40s or 50s should be optimizing for. In your 20s, you have 2 simultaneous goals that need to be balanced carefully, and they are not always pulling in the same direction. Goal 1 is credit building. You need to establish a strong credit history, develop excellent payment habits, build your average account age, and demonstrate responsible credit utilization to the bureaus. This goal favors keeping accounts open for a long time, not applying for too many cards too quickly, and using credit consistently and correctly. Goal 2 is rewards optimization. You want the cards you carry to be generating real value through cashback, points, and travel rewards, because the alternative, using credit cards that pay you nothing, means leaving money on the table every single month for a decade. This goal favors choosing cards with strong reward structures and using them strategically for your biggest spending categories. The 3-card setup we are building today achieves both goals simultaneously. Each card serves a specific role. Each one contributes to your credit profile in a specific way, and together they create a complete system that earns meaningful rewards while building the credit foundation that will serve you for the rest of your financial life. A few principles before we get into the cards. First, apply for 1 card at a time and space applications at least 6 months to a year apart. Each application triggers a hard inquiry that temporarily reduces your score, and multiple applications in a short window signal financial instability to lenders. Patience here is not a virtue, it is a strategy. Second, pay every balance in full every single month without exception. In your 20s especially, carrying credit card balances is one of the most destructive financial habits you can develop. The interest rates are devastating, the damage to your credit utilization is real, and the psychological relationship with debt it creates tends to compound into worse and worse financial decisions over time. Third, keep your utilization below 30% on each individual card and below 10% overall if you want to maximize your credit score. Utilization is the ratio of your balance to your credit limit, and it is the second most important factor in your credit score after payment history. With those principles established, let us build the 3-card wallet. The first card you should get is what I call the foundation card, and its primary job is to start your credit clock running as early as possible with a product that rewards you for doing it. The ideal foundation card has no annual fee, a straightforward reward structure that requires no complexity to use correctly, and a clear path to a credit limit increase as your income and credit profile develop. For most people in their early 20s without an established credit history, the best options in this category are the Discover It Cashback Card or the Chase Freedom Unlimited. Let me tell you why the Discover It Cashback Card is an exceptional first card for most people. It offers 5% cashback on rotating quarterly categories, things like groceries, gas, restaurants, or Amazon depending on the quarter, and 1% on everything else. The rotating categories require you to activate them each quarter, which is a minor inconvenience, but the 5% rate on those categories is genuinely excellent for a no annual fee card. What makes the Discover It uniquely powerful as a first card is the Cashback Match program. In your first year of card membership, Discover matches every single dollar of cashback you earn. Every dollar. If you earn $200 in cashback during your first 12 months, Discover deposits another $200 into your account at the end of the year. That is effectively a $400 first-year bonus on a card with no annual fee, which is extraordinary value for a starter card. Discover also has a notably consumer-friendly approach to credit. They offer free FICO score monitoring, no foreign transaction fees, no penalty APR if you accidentally miss a payment, and one of the most accessible paths to approval for people with limited credit history. If you are 18 or 19 and opening your first real credit card, the Discover It Cashback is one of the most forgiving and rewarding places to start. The alternative foundation card worth considering is the Chase Freedom Unlimited, which earns 1.5% cashback on all purchases with no category tracking required, 3% on dining and drugstore purchases, and 5% on travel booked through Chase. The Freedom Unlimited has no annual fee and is part of the Chase Ultimate Rewards ecosystem, which becomes important later when you add the second card to your wallet. If you already know you will eventually get a Chase Sapphire card, starting with the Freedom Unlimited means your cashback rewards can be converted to transferable Ultimate Rewards points once you hold a premium Chase card. That is a level of forward planning that pays dividends down the road. The welcome bonus, typically 60,000 points after spending $4,000 in the first 3 months, is worth $750 in travel through Chase's portal, or significantly more when transferred to airline and hotel partners. For a 25-year-old who has never had access to that kind of reward from a financial product, the welcome bonus alone is often a transformative moment. It makes the abstract concept of credit card rewards suddenly very concrete and very real. I put money on this card the way I was going to anyway, and now I have enough points for a free flight to Europe. That experience tends to permanently shift how someone thinks about and manages their credit cards for the rest of their financial life. The Chase Sapphire Preferred carries a $95 annual fee, which is the first annual fee most people in their 20s encounter, and it is worth addressing directly. For most people who eat out at least occasionally, travel a few times a year, and use streaming services, the rewards earned on this card in a typical year comfortably exceed $95. The math almost always works, but more importantly, paying and managing an annual fee card responsibly is itself a milestone in your credit development. It signals to lenders that you are managing premium products, which tends to open doors to higher credit limits and better products over time. If you started with the Chase Freedom Unlimited as your foundation card, adding the Sapphire Preferred creates an immediate strategic benefit beyond the rewards. Your Freedom Unlimited cashback rewards, which you have been accumulating at 1.5% on everyday purchases, can now be converted into Chase Ultimate Rewards points. Those points, combined with what you earn on the Sapphire Preferred, can all be transferred to airline and hotel partners for maximum redemption value. 2 cards become one unified rewards ecosystem, increases significantly because of how they work together. The Rewards Engine card is also the point where most people in their 20s have their first experience booking a trip substantially paid for by credit card rewards. Booking a flight or a hotel stay for a fraction of its cash cost using points is one of the most effective financial education moments imaginable. It makes the system tangible. It demonstrates in a very personal way that these strategies are not theoretical. They produce real, spendable value that improves your actual life. Once you experience it, you are motivated to optimize further, and that self-reinforcing cycle of financial education through real reward is part of what makes the Sapphire Preferred such an important card to have in your 20s specifically. The third card, which you should add sometime in your late 20s, ideally between the ages of 27 and 30, is what I call the Premium Accelerator. By this point, you should have 2 to 3 years of clean history on your foundation card, 2 or more years of clean history on your rewards engine card, a credit score that has climbed into the good to excellent range, and a clear sense of what your spending patterns look like and what rewards categories matter most to you. This is the stage where you step up to a premium product, whichever Premium Accelerator you choose. The addition of this third card completes your wallet in a specific and important way. Your foundation card has now been open for 6 to 8 years, which is contributing meaningfully to your average account age. Your rewards engine card has been open for 4 to 6 years, adding further depth to your credit history. Your Premium Accelerator is the newest account, demonstrating to lenders that your credit worthiness has grown to the point where you qualify for and responsibly manage premium financial products. Together, these 3 cards represent a complete credit and rewards ecosystem. Your foundation card handles the categories your premium cards do not cover and keeps your longest account aging. Your rewards engine card captures the bulk of your everyday spending at elevated rates. Your Premium Accelerator maximizes the highest spending categories and provides lifestyle benefits that have real dollar value. Every dollar you spend runs through the card that earns the most for that specific purchase, and the rewards flow into ecosystems. Chase Ultimate Rewards, Amex membership rewards, that can be redeemed for far more than face value when used strategically. Now let us talk about the mistakes, because the most common credit mistakes people make in their 20s are specific and predictable, and understanding them is part of building the right foundation. The first mistake is waiting too long to start. Every year you spend without a credit account is a year of credit history you will never recover. The single best time to open your first credit card was the day you turned 18. The second best time is today. If you are watching this in your early or mid-20s and you do not have a credit card yet, the cost of continuing to wait is real and measurable. The second mistake is closing old accounts. Once your foundation card has been open for several years and you upgrade to a better product, the instinct is often to close the starter card. That age is contributing to your average account age, which is a significant factor in your credit score. Put one small recurring charge on it every few months to keep it active and let it continue to do its job of aging gracefully in the background of your credit profile. The third mistake is carrying balances to build credit. This myth refuses to die, and it is costing people real money every month. You do not need to carry a balance to build credit. Carrying a balance costs you interest. It damages your utilization if the balance is high, and it creates a financial habit that can spiral into serious debt problems over time. Pay your balance in full every single month, and your credit builds perfectly without costing you $1 in interest. The fourth mistake is applying for every card that comes with an attractive welcome bonus. Bonus chasing is a legitimate advanced strategy, but it requires careful management of application timing, credit inquiries, and card rules that beginners are not equipped to navigate. In your 20s, while you are building your foundation, prioritize account age and clean history over welcome bonus accumulation. The 3-card system we built today gives you 3 excellent welcome bonuses spread over several years, which is enough to generate significant rewards without the risk of over-application damaging the credit profile you are working so hard to build. The fifth mistake is ignoring credit until you need it. People often pay no attention to their credit score until they are trying to buy a house, finance a car, or rent a high-demand apartment, and then they discover that years of inattention have left them with a thin file or a mediocre score at exactly the moment when their credit matters most. Credit is not something you build when you need it. It is something you build years before you need it. By the time you turn 30, if you have followed this 3-card system, opened each card at the right time, used each one correctly, and paid every balance in full every month, you will have a credit profile that puts you in the top tier of your peers. A high credit score, multiple well-managed accounts with meaningful age, a clean payment history, a rewards ecosystem generating real value every single year, and the financial credibility to access the best rates on every major purchase that your 30s will bring. Your 20s are the decade when the financial decisions are smallest and the consequences of making them correctly are largest. The compounding of good credit habits over a decade is one of the most powerful forces in personal finance. Start it now, build it correctly, and let time do the rest of the work. Subscribe to Klux One Finance if you have not already. Hit the bell so you never miss a video, and I will see you in the next one.